Yep.
All right, so what's your name?
My name is Shalon.
Shalon.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
Where are you from originally?
Tucson, Arizona.
And what's your current situation?
In regards to what? No, I'm just kidding. Currently I'm here in Phoenix or whatever this part is. I think it's Phoenix, and I'm on the streets, so I'm homeless. I make my money doing dates, if you want to call it a date. No kids, never been married. Almost graduated from college, but my life made turn to take a different turn. So here I am.
So how'd you end up in your situation? Just running around on the streets?
No, it took me a while before I actually hit the streets. I was at my senior year at the U of A, probably about a semester. I think I had like a semester left, and I was getting ready to apply for medical schools. And
so you went to the university?
yeah, I went to university. I went to NAU, Northern Arizona University, first for a year, and then I transferred back down to Tucson, and I was at the U of A for 3 years. And I switched my major a few times, so it took me. It's a 5-year plan, but towards the end, it's just you're not the same anymore. The motivation isn't there.
What were you going to college for?
I was going because I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be either a pediatrician or an OBGYN, obstetrics and gynecology, deliver babies, or check vaginas, all that stuff. But yeah, my motivation, like once I started using it's something your body needs, and so when your body needs it, your brain tells you all kinds of fucked up shit until it gets what it wants. And I spent my whole 20s going in and out of treatment after that, like trying to get my shit together, trying to get better, trying to start back where I left off. But every time I went out, I felt like it was getting worse and worse. And so every time I got clean, I had that much more baggage to clean up or trash, and it starts to feel overwhelming now. When I do get sober, I feel like I'm playing catch up, and like I'm not ever gonna have the time to catch up. So it's discouraging. I fight with that. It's that internal battle.
So is it just you out here by yourself, or do you have family?
No, I mean, on the streets, it's just me. My family now lives out here. My brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, live out here in Gilbert. They're actually both attorneys. They have 3 kids now. When I first hit the streets, I think it was like 5 years ago now. God. I had a nephew that I knew about, and I just recently, my parents came and found me down in Tucson, and they brought me up here. I hadn't seen them in over 2 years.
Sorry.
It's okay. They got really good parents. I've got a really good family. It just goes to show, like, this shit doesn't discriminate, man.
So you grew up with both your parents, mom and dad?
Yeah.
How was your childhood growing up?
It was, it was all right. We had our issues. My dad's Middle Eastern, and my mom's white. So, like, for a while, early on, like, my dad, he wasn't the nicest person. He wasn't, like, completely abusive all the time, but, like, when he had a short temper. So, when he'd lose his cool, he'd lose his cool. And he was abusive with my mom and I. And when I was 12, I finally got sick and tired of it. And he pissed me off so much one day. He had knocked my mom out. And I went to her aid like I always did. And he was running his mouth, so I called the cops. And then they didn't answer. 911 didn't answer, so I hung up. And then they called back. And then they came down and they got my dad. But see, he changed. Not everybody does. Like, if you don't know any other way of life, how can you change? You don't know any different. But after that, he was shown something different, and he loved my mom so much. He never put another finger on my mom and I. And I have 2 younger brothers.
So after he went to jail, he changed?
Yeah, he changed.
For the better?
Yeah, for the better.
That's good.
Yeah, I hated my dad for a long time. But I probably have a better relationship with him now than I even do sometimes with my mom. and I was very fortunate. I've been able to travel. My dad, my parents worked hard. Like, I didn't grow up with money, but my parents worked really hard for what we had. So I had a car before I was 16. You know, like I have, like I said, 2 younger brothers. My parents put all of us through college. Real privileged, you know. And so it's hard for me to be out here and stay in contact with him because I'm tired of dragging him through the mud. Especially my mom, like, she wants to clean it up for me, you know, fix everything, and sometimes it's just not possible.
Do your parents still look for you even at this age?
They did. I don't know if they probably have tried looking for me out here, but it's such a bigger city. They probably don't even know where to start. They live in Queen Creek. My brother lives in Gilbert, and then the last time they saw me, I agreed to go to a treatment center, because I have 2 nieces now, a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old. And the little 2-year-old's just a feisty little bitch, and but I'm their only aunt, and I met her, and like, so I went because I was trying to get my shit together, you know, at least so I could be part of her life. But I deep down inside I wasn't ready. I don't know what it's gonna look like to be ready. I've been to treatment like 7-8 times, and I'm talking like 6-month programs. Like, I think the longest I was in treatment was like 11 months. And it's not like I went in there, you know, fighting against the whole time. I went in there like with an open mind and like willing to try things, and you know, I do good for a while and I come out, and I don't know if I'm just like too smart for my own good sometimes, or I get bored easily, you know. Something eventually always ends up leading me back. And I used to hear stories in AA meetings of people saying that, you know, they were just done. They woke up one day and they were just tired. And that's part of why I came on the streets, was because I figured, you know, I always had a roof over my head and like my family around. I figured, well, maybe it just needs to get bad. It needs to get bad. It needs to get bad quick. So I lost my apartment, you know, due to helping a lot of people who were homeless. Total first introduction to the street life. I did not know what I was getting myself into at all. I look back at those days and it's, but I remember just, you know, I went home to my parents, but we were butting heads, and you know, they want me to be clean. Any good parent is gonna want their kid to have a good, healthy life. You know, not gonna want to root their kid on for being an addict. But I came out on the streets, you know, hoping it'd get real bad real quick, and the only thing I've proved to myself is that I'm way stronger than I thought. I've managed to get by out here on my own, like by myself. I don't have a dude that I'm dating or anybody taking care of me or some sugar daddy. Like, I do it all on my own. And as a female, especially out here, it's a hard thing to do. Granted, I think women out here get a lot more help than men do. People are more likely to stop and give me $1 over the guy standing next to me, just because I am a woman, and I'm grateful for that. But there's also a lot of bullshit, you know, like, you know, I never in a million years would have thought I'd wake up one day and I'd be, you know, but I guess out of all the hustles that you can have out here, that one's the one that just works for me. I can't steal. I wish I could, but I can't. I can barely walk out of Circle K with a fucking thirst buster. And then it's easy because it's just cash money, so I don't have to go steal shit and then find a buyer for it. But there's a lot of risks that come with that too. You know, you never know who you're getting in the car with. And the only reason that I've made it out here this far on my own is honestly because of God. Like, the only reason is I was not equipped to be out here. I didn't grow up on the streets, or my parents are such squares. But I know I've learned one thing though, is that respect and common sense gets you a really long way. And as long as you're respectful, you really don't have problems with people. you know, in keeping an open mind. And I think the hardest thing for me was the way that people are, like the lying and the stealing and stuff that kind of comes with it. Like, I know that comes with abuse, but a lot of people out here, that's all they know. Like, they don't know anything else. And so sometimes, you know, when I go to sleep and I wake up and my stuff's gone, you know, and the person who was with me the night before was my supposed good homie or whatever, and they're the ones that took it. It's hard sometimes to stop and think about that, you know, and not take it personally. You know, just because I wouldn't do some shit like that doesn't mean that the next person isn't going to. And so I just, you know, they say try not to let the streets change you. And, you know, I'm a people person. I like people. I like talking to people. I like helping people. And I've got a really big heart, and that's what I do out here. Like, if I've got something and somebody needs it and they ask me, I'll give it to them. I try to, you know, keep a smile on my face and stay positive. And honestly, in some ways, I don't mind this life compared to the normal life. It's just a different kind of stress. So instead of worrying about getting to a job every day and, you know, working 9 to 5 to pay for an apartment that you're never at because you have to at work trying to pay for it, you know, my stress is about where I'm gonna sleep that night, maybe, or if I'm gonna have enough money to get something to eat. But there's a lot of resources too that are available. So it's just like I said, it's God. You know, no matter what, you know, God always makes sure that you have what you need. He has done that for me.
All right, well, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it. Are you okay if I post this on my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
And just in case anybody wants to reach out with any sort of help or donations, do you have any contact information that you want to share, like an email or anything like that?
Oh, man. I have a phone, but I don't have it on me at the moment. And as far as email, I don't know what my updated one is yet. I finally got a phone for the first time and, like, have held on to it. It's hard to hold on to stuff like that. You know, but I don't know. I mean, if my story helps somebody, that's cool. I hope it does.
What if
not, maybe it'll keep somebody from doing stupid shit and ending up out here.
What if one of your loved ones gets to see the interview? You want to tell them anything?
Yeah, that I love them a lot. And that I'm sorry for the way that shit's turned out. I know that they let go of everything in the past, but it's hard to face them when I know that I can't give them what they want. But don't ever think that I don't love you guys. I don't care, because I do more than anything.